Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm Bob DeMarco. Coming up, a disappointing cold steel. We do the Gentleman Junkie giveaway for this month of September, and we do the Bulldozer by Concept Knives, and then sweater weather knives. Now that it's getting cooler out and I'm starting to wear more sturdy clothing and maybe a little bit more of it, some of my heavier knives are starting to come back out. So I'm going to showcase some of those and find out, do you do seasonal knives? This year it was in sharp relief for me, this whole concept of seasonal knives. Because we went to the pool so much, we always went to our neighborhood pool. It's a great, it's the best neighborhood pool you could imagine, and it's tucked away, and not as many people know about it as some of the other places. So we went there all the time, and every time I would bring one of 5 or 6 knives, and they did a lot of time there. We always bring food and we barbecue there and all that stuff. So I definitely have my summer knives, and now my winter fall knives are coming out. I want to hear about it. Do you do that? Dave, how's it going? We have Dave, This Old Sword Blade Reviews. Evening, Bob. Jim, Knife Junkies. What's under the sweater? A Bowie. That's right. A Bowie. Oh, I get it. Like Halloween. A Bowie. Hey, Will B, how's it going? Evening, Bob, Jim, Dave, he says. We are just hanging out. Byron, how's it going, sir? Howdy, Bob, Jim, Junkies. This Old Sword will be Thursday Night Knives. Yes, indeed. This is what I have out. Blade Ogre, Chris, how's it going, sir? Yeah, I got so many knives around me right now. Every week I'm like, I'm not going to even show half of these. So don't take as many out. But I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe they inspire me or to ramble on incessantly. Ketmuk, how's it going? Good evening, Bob, Jim, Junkies. Happy Benny's Clip Eve. That's right. Tomorrow night here. May as well show this right now, and then we can talk about this. But this is the Benny's Clip, and tomorrow this drops. I am very excited for this knife. This thing is awesome. I've used it so much. I actually just oiled the G10 scales for his close-up tonight, but you know what? It just feels oily, and I got to let it happen naturally. So it's a much grayer black G10 than it is right now. But yeah, this is dropping tomorrow at all your favorite purveyors of knives, and yeah, you definitely have to check it out. And the carbon fiber they have for these models that Ben Belkin has for these models are insane. It's just beautiful carbon fiber, and just something I don't, I'm very pleased with. Mikey A, how's it going? Hi, Bob, everyone. First time here. Well, welcome, sir. I was just actually, we will do a pocket check in a minute, but not quite yet. Caleb, how's it going, sir? Caleb Townsend, howdy. Caleb just might win tonight. You never know. He's a gentleman junkie. Michael Morgan, good to have you here with us, Michael. Love that Yo Jumbo. I was carrying my Yo Jumbo this week, and so that's been on my dresser all week. I've been gazing at it a lot, wistfully. 9198 David, so many knives. I love it. Hello all. Well, David, good to have you with us, sir. Yeah, so many knives. They're kind of stacked up almost precariously. So hope the cat isn't in here. Hey, how's it going, sir? We have Watch and Cut channel. Hi, Bob. I'm going to be a guest on. Well, hello, Alex. It's good to have you here. I don't know. I don't know when that is going to be, but I am definitely looking forward to it. Speaking with you. Blame Dexter, for the past month. Well, hello, Blame Dexter. Good to have you here. For the past month, I've been working on getting a custom knife made for myself. In one day, the dude finished the blade. The concept for it is EDC. Super excited for it to come in. Awesome, Blame Dexter. I'm looking forward to that. It's funny because the guy right before you, Alex, formerly of Alex's Knife Box, he's Watch and Cut. Man, he's gone down the watch rabbit hole, and luckily that's like Charybdis sucking ships down, and I'm still on the periphery, thank God. But that is a man who knows how to order a knife, custom knives beautifully. Nomadic Adventure, I saw you. Good to have you here, sir. Mr. VC, how are you? Oh my goodness gracious. I don't have that in tonight's run of show, but I'm going to get up and grab it at some point. Mr. VC has loaned me very graciously a Norseman, and it's the first time I've ever had one, in my hands, and it's otherworldly. It's pretty wild. Thank you, Mr. VC. It's greatly appreciated. Jay McConnell, good to have you here. Evening, Bob, Jim, all, he says. Well, evening to you, sir. Blame Dexter. For some reason, I forgot to say EDC Katana. Oh, I like that. Hands move faster than my brain. So I like that. I love that concept. EDC Katana. That's awesome. I think that's called a wakizashi. Actually, it's called a tanto. Just kidding. Sounds awesome. Alex says, yes, you will be a guest. Dirk is out on vacation. I'll follow up when I figure it out. Awesome, man. No rush for sure. But I wasn't sure if I was speaking out of school. So I'm looking forward to talking to both you and Dirk in the same format. That'll be really fun. Plus, you and I haven't spoken in a while, so it'll be great to catch up. Will B says, Bob, now that you've gotten a hold of a Norseman, do you understand? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I do have mixed emotions. It's kind of like showing up to school to drop off your kid in the Lamborghini. It's awesome. It's super cool. I don't know if I'm ready for that. What am I talking about? Yes, I am. I just have to keep I have to manage my expectations, you see, Will. And so for now, I'm going to say that yeah, it's an awesome knife, and I love the size, and I love the blade, and I cannot believe how sharp it is. And the ergonomics, I don't love the way the handle looks. The ergonomics feel amazing, so the hand takes precedence here. I'm gazing over at the box. It comes in a cool box with all the fitment and stuff. I'll go grab it in a minute and show it off. It's rather sweet. So yes, I do get it. I get it for sure. Okay, let's see. I think it's time. I want to do a little pocket check. Oh yeah, I like that. So today I was proudly, as a Virginian, carrying an automatic, fully legally, thanks to Doug Ritter and Knife Rights. So I was carrying my ProTech TR3. I love this knife. I can barely get it out. I love this knife in all of its iterations, especially, well, I got to say, I love the scale, the fish scale version, probably the most. But I do love the utilitarian look of this with the fluting and the grooves. And actually, those grooves are really, really good for gription here. I mean, you just kind of reach around, and you get your fingers in them grooves there, and man alive, it'll stay in hand. And some people don't like. I know Kara Neve talks about how she doesn't like the chalkiness of this kind of aluminum. The chalkiness on this aluminum, on this one in particular, has sort of worn down, but I do like that. That's like something I like, actually. Alex says, I love the Norseman, but it's ugly. Like a horse phallus. Wow. Well, you're not wrong. I can't really disagree with you on that. Though, I haven't seen too many, but yeah, I guess I could see that. I'm changing that subject with Will saying, imagine how I felt. Oof. Oh, that's a bad phrase right on the heels of that last thing. I went from a cheap Kershaw to ZT to Spyderco to Norseman in less than 7 months. Will be, I have a bunch of analogies. I have one very potent analogy that I'm going to keep to myself. But I like hearing that. I do like hearing that. Weston Probst, good to have you with us, Weston. Hey, he says. Well, hey, right back at you. Nomadic Adventure says, Bob showing off his sweet blade collection. I do have a number of sweet blades out here. This is what I was carrying today. I used this to cut burritos tonight at dinner. There might even be some burrito residue, though I think I nailed it. I got it off. You know what I do? And this really sticks in my wife's craw when we're at the restaurant. And I do this, but I never use their knives at the restaurant. I mean, I use their butter knives if I have to spread butter. But if I'm cutting anything, I'll use my own knife. But when I'm done, I always take that knife and here, let me illustrate. I take the knife, I dip it in the water that they give me, and I swish it around, clean it off, wipe it with my napkin, and then I'm good to go. And oh my God, my wife does not like that. But I am not folding up a knife with food in there. even if it's a thin layer. So, yeah, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and then you suffer the consequences. All right. So, I had this on me, the TR3. That was my main carry. I also had the Jack Wolf knives. Yeah, wipe a little bit more of that oil. I don't want this thing to slip in my hands. I had the Benny's clip on me today. Just a beautiful knife. This thing does get a lot of action. This has probably gotten more action than all the others because of its size. Now, I thought the boy's knife, which is the smallest one, the little bro, which I love because I'm a big boy's knife fan, that sleeve board pattern in that size with a clip point. But I like that for its small size. This I like for its large size, and I've been just using it more for its small size. And this, the back spring is very stout. Not that I'm ever going against the spine with a slip joint or any knife. Well, I guess there are tactical applications for doing that with a regular folding knife, but you would never do that with this. Trapping or any of that stuff. If you had to stab with this, of course, you would turn it like that. But you would never, well, never say never. Hopefully never. But if you did, oh my goodness gracious, I would not want to be attacked by this knife. It is so thin. It is so slicey. It's got that recurve for kind of sharpening out over time, so it doesn't jack up the profile of your knife. So you keep sharpening this, and the place that gets the most use is kind of that last third. Well, they give you a little extra with that recurve. You'll see that in slip joint knives often on clip points. Miller 86, good to have you with us, sir. Welcome to the club. He said, I went from a $10 knife from Walmart to 100 to a 200 knife in a month. Okay, there is hey, Miller 86, we all feel you. And to some extent or other, yeah, are there and have experienced that. There's a great video by the Apostle P. Back from the days when he was real active, not just with knife sales. And he does a video called The Progressive Madness of Knife Collection. And he talks about this very phenomenon using illustrations in his own madness. And I think for him, at the time, he was capping out, I think, with a Sebenza. So kind of how we went from a $10 knife to a $450 at the time knife. They just raised their prices at Chris Reeve Knives due to inflation, due to this craptacular climate we're in. Chris Banks, good to have you here, Chris. Anyone know when the Evo 3s are coming? I do not. Sadly, I will not be getting an Evo 3, but I do not know. Anyone out there, let the good man know when the Evo 3s are coming so that maybe he'll show it off to us and we'll get to benefit. So also with me today for emotional support, I had the Finch Buffalo Tooth. I've been carrying this one a lot. Love this thing. It's already kind of scarred up. I've misspoken about this knife, calling it steel. This knife is titanium. The all metal version and the abalone. Oh, this one does have food residue on it. I am ashamed. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll get that off later, but I just absolutely dig this knife. This to me is a gentleman's folder. I know you're clutching your pearls saying, Bob, that's so big. It's so big. How could it possibly be? Just because it's a fat, wide knife does not mean it can't be a gentleman's knife. Just put it down next to a polished leather wallet, a pair of Ray-Bans, a Hinderer pen, and a Rolex, and you'll see what I mean. It's manly, especially, I got to say, with the wood. That jig titanium is a close second, and I love abalone, just not in this case. Maybe that's a little bit too much for me. But to me, it's this Cocobolo that takes the cake. I just love it. I'm starting to like wooden handles a lot, much to James Moore's dismay. I do like natural materials on my modern knives, and wood right now is something I'm digging. Can we bring back real natural tortoiseshell though, please? I mean, this fake stuff, it's okay, but I mean, who likes pleather here? Who likes pleather? I want the real thing. Let's start harvesting tortoise shell, natural, the real stuff. Okay, people, come on. Stop being so sensitive. This is the attention to detail mercantile medium folder double-edged awesomeness, which is just on my desk right now. I did not carry it. And no, I don't really actually hate tortoises. Okay, so Mike, yeah, says, yep, went from a SOG Terminus XL, maybe XR, to Peter Martin full custom. Yikes, my man, that's a nice jump right there. You know, why mess around? Why mess around? I'm the kind of guy who goes for what I want when I see it, like you, babe. Okay, sorry, that never worked. Just so you, I never used it. Okay, so right here, last up, I did have a fixed blade on me today. I'm in love with this little dagger. This is the Counterattack 2. I just got this in the last, I don't know, several days or week or whatever. I've already messed something up, and I'll show you that in a second. But great little dagger. It comes with an awesome little clip that I removed for neck carry. This is actually an excellent neck carry knife. This is the one that I always see the great and powerful Lynn Thompson wearing around his neck. So I decided, let me check it out. I did have the large 5-inch one of the count. Let me take it out of its sheath. I gave it to someone. I don't even remember. Gave it or sold it. But now I'd like it back. Whoever has it, give it back. I like that spoon style sort of. Well, that's a convex surface here. So this is a chisel ground blade with a convex surface. So it's just built for nastiness. It's going to create some sort of a nasty wound. And with the look at that tip. I mean, with that tip, it's going to penetrate easily. Not the greatest cutter or slasher in the world, but that's not really why you have this knife. You could cut and slash with it, but it's definitely a piercer. And if you watch Lynn Thompson use this on meat, it is frightening. He's just using his fingers like this, and he can stab, giant hanging meats and stuff, and he just tears these things up with this tiny little dagger. It is pretty awesome. I do love it. The material, I'm starting to fall out of love with this rubber material. This got caught in a little section of my car, and I had to force the section open. It's like in the center console, and it just kind of gnarled up the pommel. But I guess that just means it's no longer sellable. It is now sullied. It is now mine. Look at how small it is, though. It is a small dagger. If you're ever looking at those two, the other one is much bigger. If you're ever looking for a boot dagger and you're considering the Cold Steel Counterattack, the Counterattack 2 is definitely a tiny little knife. All right, that's what I was carrying. What did you guys have on you today, guys and gals? Let me know. Always want to know what you got. And if you're watching this in replay, drop it in the comments anyway. I'll still get it. I still like to see what people are carrying. All right. One other knife I want to show off while this is coming in, the Wee Esprit today. Hey, you know what, Miller 86? That is not one we hear often about, but I remember when that came out and we covered it on the midweek supplemental show. I remember thinking it was a really nice looking blade, really nice looking knife. Clem Blady, good to have you here, Clem. Love that fat finch. I know. I do too. And it is a hell of a cutter. It's got a very tall grind, very thin. Ooh, big mail drop today. So this is from Dave, this old sword blade reviews. Big mail drop today. So carrying my wicked nice Reich Lamella Persian. I saw that today on Instagram. The Kaiser Mini Paragon. By RS Knife Works, right? And the Kaiser Assassin XL. Assassin XL, love everything about it except the name, and the regular Assassin, just a bad name. But that RS Knife Works, not exactly my cup of tea, but I love that guy's knives for their audacity. I've been following him on Instagram for a long time. He does cool stuff. David, carried my Demco MG 8020. Nice. Terrain 365 STS AT titanium. I love that knife. That's based on the Shoot Knife by Bob Lovelace. Oh man, what a great Bob Lovelace quote I read the other day, and now I got to find it. He's brilliant. Anyway, Spyderco Bob Lum Tonto today. Oh, that's a cool one too. That's worth a lot of dough. The Bob Lum Tontos. Clem Blady, I had a Civivi Elementum. What a great knife. I had Jock's Civivi Elementum that he gave to his wife with the donut themed dessert warrior. So funny. Great knife. CPM Good to have you here, CPM. Cultratech Svarn 3 today. Cultratech. Do they make automatics? And I'm not just saying that because it ends in tech, but does Cultratech might make automatics? The Svarn. That sounds like Northern European. Ken McNessart. Today I carried a Malone Knives Woodsmuck. Wood Steel Knives Mini Snake Eater. Ooh, that's a cool name. And the JWK, that's Jack Wolf Knives Laid Back Jack. I'm still getting used to seeing the shortened JWK. I got to start using that. I'm always typing it all the way out. And the XM24 on loan from North Code. Ooh, love me an XM24. XM24 I got out to discuss when we're talking about sweater weather. And actually, this is a good segue to this next knife I want to show off. It reminds me a bit of this knife right here, at least some of the angles. Weston Probst carried the blue Kershaw Link and an Elementum. I love the Kershaw Link. Got to get one back in my life. There are a number of Kershaws that the knockout I have to get back in my life, and I'd like to get a piston. And I saw that Yoda Doug was selling a piston recently. Today I had the Keennison Stray, Serge Panchenko Mid-Tech Bean, and the CT Metalworks Custom Swiss Army knife. Dude, Caleb Townsend, always a classy carry with Caleb. That sounded good. Will be. I had the Grimsmo Norseman, the Kaiser Maestro, the Concept Preta 2, and the Kaiser Mini Sheepdog. Questions. I have questions. The Concept Preta 2, was that the micarta or the titanium version? I am selling my titanium Tonto version, but it is one of the smoothest knives, especially on the close, that I have. But I have my needs. Incognito Griffin, good to have you here. Hey, Bob, you already, wait. You already what I carry since I had the day off today. I went to different bookstores and malls and only carried my Vaquero XL. So nice. The Vaquero XL. I love it. This is my, this edition. I mean, my Lynn Thompson with his second grade teacher signature edition. Love this thing. And I have the regular one. And now I need the regular serrated one. I got my 4-inch one back from my good buddy. And then I have the old El Hombre 4-inch. I love the Vaquero and I love the Yatagan on which it's based. And I'll take it all day long. It's kind of funny, Vaquero, but it's based on the Yatagan, which is a Turkish blade. If you believe Lynn Thompson, I always thought it was based on the Navaja, but the Navaja series is the Espada. Those are the Navajas. So Navaja and whatchamacallit. Yatagan. Sorry, brain fart there. Okay, so I was showing this right here, the XM24 with the Wharncliffe blade, and that front angle reminds me of this knife, which is now mine. I'm very excited. The Pinkerton designed asymmetrical contact made by Beyond EDC. Such a sweet knife. Blade Ogre says, it's mine, all mine. Yes, I do love this, and I made it. This was on loan from Dirk Pinkerton. When I tried to send it back to him, he gave it to me as a gift, and I am grateful because I love this thing. I'd be grateful even if I hated it, but I don't. I love it, and I'm happy to have a small, this 3.35-inch blade, smaller blade for me that I'm totally willing to carry in the front right pocket. Hey, Blade Ogre, Chris was carrying the Benchmade Griptilian 20 CV. Keep thinking about that knife. I keep thinking about that with a Spidey hole and a Wharncliffe blade or a sheep's foot. I would like to get that and a tagged out. Also interested in that. I think I'll wait till all of the versions of it come out. The ones with, the different titanium and micarta, which will no doubt come. Medford Praetorian Swift, Hinderer XM18 recurve. Oh, love it. The Red Horse Hellraiser P, the Pena Bronco, and the American Service Knife, and the GEC Stockyard Whittler. Jeez, man, Nice carry. The hinderer, I always talk about how I love that recurve. The Red Horse, Hellraiser P. What's the P? Trying to remember. Is that the automatic? It wouldn't be P, would it? It'd be A. Huh. They also make a fixed blade. Could be the fixed blade. I don't know what the P is. Interesting. Anyway, I need to get my hands on a Red Horse, though I'm picky. I don't like the holes in the blade, and I know they have a version or two with. Today I had the VSEP and the GEC 68 in Cocobolo. You're speaking my love language, Jay McConnell. That sounds awesome. I was thumbing my VSEP earlier. I put it back in the case. Mike says, doesn't fit in my pocket. Bastinelli Drag Attack. Yes. Are you talking about the sweater weather knives? I got this out. This is a definite sweater weather knife because it's like 4.75 inches on the blade, and it's a big knife. Takes up some pocket space. It's got a big footprint, but it's light and thin for a giant frame lock. So I dig this knife, and it looks like a nasty Viking knife to me. Michael Morgan says, today's carry, 4-inch Hogue EX01 button lock Tonto with green G-Mascus. Great knife. Great knife. I had the EX01 in the original, what was that? It was just a drop point. That's an Elishewitz design. Alan Elishewitz, what a mensch. I think I may have mentioned it before. My good friend was at the SIG armor and shooting camp up in New Hampshire, I believe, this summer. And just coincidentally, Alan Elishewitz was his partner. They get all partnered up. And he said the guy was incredible. He was the only one who wasn't all tacked out with drop holsters and the vests and all the stuff. He was there with like a blazer on and a hidden, a concealed carry pistol. And he would go through the same courses as everyone else and put everyone to shame. And my friend was a Marine Corps scout sniper, so no slouch himself. But Alan Elishewitz was Marine Force Recon, so special forces dude, and just but very cool. Can design the hell out of a knife, and his custom knives are absolutely sublime. I had a chance to handle his new folding and fixed blade John Eck dagger tribute series at Blade Show, and they were amazing, and got a chance to talk to his lovely and charming wife. I was going to carry my new first of all, redacted. Good to have you here, sir. I love those glow in the dark, those glowing eyes. They put chills on my spine. I was going to carry my new Dagger Knives Arrow, but I really need something better than $80 D2 blade when doing nothing but fidgeting and opening envelopes and boxes. I'm a serious user. Hey, dude, I know what you mean, man. I know. I was thinking of that today. It's something very similar to that. I'm like, why is it that dollar value and materials, especially materials like blade steel, which I don't really get it. I don't allow myself the chance to experience in their fullest capacity. How is it that I can be so choosy that I will choose a knife that I'm less enthusiastic about the design, but I like the materials more than something that's a quarter of its price in lesser materials, but has a more interesting design? Is that snobbyism? Is that like MailChimp status acquisition stuff? Mr. VC says Shirogorov F95T, the Pena Apache kickstop. That's cool. And the Godson and Swiss Army knife Alox Pioneer. Very nice. That's Shirogorov. So nice. And Mr. VC, hats off to you for the loaner, if I didn't say that earlier. Byron Kennedy, thanks, Bob. I keep telling my wife and friends just because I'm fat, old, angry, and like knives is no reason I'm not a gent. Capiche? Hey, I capiche. Yes, no doubt. Okay, here's something. Yeah, you can be a gentleman, and you should have sharp teeth. Everyone should have sharp teeth. Just learn how to use them and not to lash out emotionally with them. James, how's it going, sir? I was talking about you earlier. Not sure if you heard. Hello, Thursday night knifers. I was declaring my love for natural materials on blades or on knife handles as I was talking about this knife. And I said, much to, I'm sure, your dismay. Will B says it's the White Mountain Knives, my Carta version. Okay, selling the titanium one. Mine is a drop point because the Tonto was sold out. Hey, Will, I'll give you a screaming deal. Uh, I kind of, it's a really hard knife to let go of because all knives, when I'm around them, are hard knives to let go of. If you know what I mean. That's a knife where I'm like, uh, when I'm driving my car, I'm thinking about, maybe I should sell some knives, make some of that money back, free up some money to do other things, and not be burnt. I always think that line, your possessions begin to possess you, that whole thing. And but once I pick it up and flip it, I'm like, why would I get rid of this? It's so awesome. So maybe if I know it's staying within the Knife Junkie family. This old sword says, sorry, Bob, but K Maxrom doesn't allow release of the Preta 2 into the wild. Well, okay, so here's the thing. I have the I always or very frequently carry the micarta version of that knife. And I have the Pelican, also a K Maxrom design, from Kaiser. So I'm and I have so I'm covered on K Maxrom. But I hear you. It's hard to do. Stop trying to dissolve my resolve. James Moore says, tonight I've got the Richard Rogers Cinco with Timascus inlays. Ooh, I love Richard Rogers. I like the lines. Floating tie backspacer and hand rubbed CTS XHP blade. Love XHP steel. I love XHP steel. And I'm not sure which model the Cinco is, but I love Richard Rogers' designs. P production. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Thank you. Son of Liberty 78. Good to see you, sir. Good to have you with us. Y'all are too fancy for me. Just got my M4 Sage 5. Ooh. And Crewwear Yojimbo on me today. I thought that said Crewwear Yojumbo. And I was gonna say, who heard of such a thing? But Son of Liberty. You think an M4 Sage 5 isn't fancy? That's fancy pants as far as I'm concerned. And Crewwear anything is fancy. Charles Combs, good to have you with us, Charles. Cold Steel Raja 2. Man after my own heart. Here, I had this one out before. I better close it up. But this is one of the ones that has a very stiff lock. Very nice carry, sir. I approve. Jay Linda, good to have you here, Jay. Rocking a Rosie right now. A Roosevelt. Okay, number 470. I'm just saying, I don't know that one in particular, but I do love the Roosevelt. And I had it on loan. I had one on loan from Bearded Gear. What a cool knife that was. What a cool guy. Great knife. Lamia is next for me. Oh, yes. That's the Steingraber Performance Knives folder. That thing's amazing looking. And just having the shark and knowing how awesome that is. A folding version, or not even that, it's a folding version, but a folding knife from someone who can heat treat and grind steel like that. It's going to be awesome. And it looks beautiful. Hope everyone is having a good night. Like the stream. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it, man. Cheers to you. I hope you're having a good night as well. Let me show you this. Since I was talking about Dirk Pinkerton and showing off the contact, I really recommend this thing. This thing is awesome. I really like the utility of that Wharncliffe blade, but the angle is what I like the best on the tip because it's a business angle. You can do all the pull cuts and all the utility stuff, but it's also a thrusting, stabbing, sax-like Wharncliffe. And I really like that. And an interesting and kind of cool feature, I'm sorry I didn't finish this before. Cool feature about this is that compared to the line where the fingers are in the handle, the straight edge angles upward. And I usually think that you get more utility out of something angled downward. But in this case, it works very well because you can get to that tip no problem. But I know Dirk Pinkerton is always has tactical in mind, even if it's not a tactical knife. And if you reverse edge in this, it's the perfect angle for a Pikal style knife. And here's a Wharncliffe Pikal style knife. This is a custom Smilodon by Dirk Pinkerton on loan to me from the great and powerful Hero Sticks. Thank you, Hero. This thing is so awesome. God, I love this. This thing is so cool. It's a Gungan. Good to have you here. You guys do a pocket check yet? Yeah, we have. Let us know what you're carrying. Let us know what you got. This thing is just incredible. So I really, really dig Dirk Pinkerton and his designs, and he goes from utility EDC to full on modernized. What do you call it? Modernized ethnographic weaponry and these kind of knives, and just perfectly hand ground things. His knives are incredible. Here's my custom cave bear. So just there we go. All right. Well, thank you, Hero, for loaning me that Smilodon. It is nasty, triple edged. It is a Pikal style Tonto, just wicked. This would also make a really cool blade just on a regular handle too. Maybe a bayonet ground handle, so you could put the thumb up on some jimping, like right here. That'd be sweet. But who am I to tell Dirk Pinkerton what to do? That's an XHP blade. Very cool stuff. Max the Maker, good to have you here, Max. Part 1 tools in my pocket this week were Paramilitary 2. The taken out to use 10 times so far this week. GEC 49 taken out to use 7 times so far this week. That's cool. I don't know what the 49 is. And I used to count rounds through my Glock 22, my 40 caliber, and then I lost count after a while because that thing never jammed. Max the Maker, part 2, pre-run 2. Okay, sorry. Part 2 to Max the Maker's carry, Perrin 2 Light, taken out to use 6 times so far this week. Not used yet this week. Dice pick. Clip lid lighter and Swiss Tech Microtech 6-in-1. Oh, those Swiss Tech tools are kind of cool. I like those. Someone gave me one as a gift once. I love that Max the Maker not only uses his knives and his tools, but he recounts the way he uses them. And I think that's pretty cool. Yoda Doug, good to see you, Yoda. I liked your sales video. I don't know why, but sometimes sales videos really get me. And you had that sweet piston. I love those. Yoda Doug says, got the Knife Center Crewwear Yojimbo today. It's sweet. I got bitten by a spider. I do love the Yojimbo family. Carried my Yojimbo this week. They do deserve and benefit from a deep carry pocket clip from Lynch, or in my case, the MXG gear clip. It does not, in either case, hassle the hand. Sometimes, that fold over pocket clip thing, it doesn't feel good in hand. But on both of my Yojimbo and Yojumbo, it just happens to work with the ergonomics. Will B says, Bob, I might have to email you about the Preda 2. Please do. The micarta version is one of my top 5. It's just over there, out of reach. But this thing it's sweet, and I'm not doing the hard sell. I know what you want. The clip is just barely scuffed. You know how clips always are the first thing to show wear, and I didn't carry it that much, but I did flip it a lot, and it shows. It is like butter. Son of Liberty 78. Yeah, I like it so much that my second Crewwear Yojimbo 2 will be delivered tomorrow. I like buying pairs of my favorite exclusives. That's a cool and good idea. And I'm sorry, can you go back to that, Jim? Thank you. Son of Liberty, are you going to get different handle scales or customize the second one in any way? I always think that's kind of a fun thing to do. Fun thing. You know what I mean? It might be cool, especially if you have 2, to have one pristine the way they came out with it, and then customize the one that you carry and use. Yoda Doug says, it's my 3rd Spyderco. I bought a PM2 Warncliffe a couple of weeks ago and love it. I also like the Warncliffe and the Tonto in the PM2. I think they're cool, but I do like the Warncliffe a little bit better. Though the hollow ground main part of the Tonto is very sweet. I mean, that whole knife is very sweet. I had it on loan to me from Jock. Jay McConnell says, good choices. You'll like Magna Cut as as another stainless option then. Edge stability of Crewwear, edge aggressiveness of M4, but more stainless and just about anything than just about anything but Vanix or LC200N. LC200N. I do like my Spidey Chef. However, I have a hard time sharpening LC200N. Either that or just the way it was heat treated on my Spidey Chef. I'm not sure. Byron Kennedy says, speaking of Yo Jumbo Yo Jimbos, anyone else out there hear or verify that the next Yo Jumbo drop later this year are to be S90V? I have heard that. I am pretty sure that is the case, but I don't know what the I hope they do something cool with the handle material. I sent in, well, hopefully I'll be finding out something about that soon. Yoda Doug says, I got some Putnam grooved scales for the for the Jimbo also. I love those Putnam groove scales. I have those on my bug out, and they feel good in hand. And they quoting Advanced Knife Bro, those Putnam scales with the grooves really take on your unique filth signature very, very well, and they get dark looking, but the grooves remain light. So they just they get a really nice micarta patina. It's a Gungan says, I have had that black Pikal. What's the name and make again? Oh, excuse me. This is a Dirk Pinkerton custom Smilodon. Triple-edged Tonto Pikal yumminess. And now actually that I have it in hand, I think I need to get this. I mean, the Cave Bear really appeals, and I love this thing, and it's great. It's a cool contrast in blade styles and shapes. I really like it. All right. One more thing before we do this giveaway. I want to show off one more knife, only because tomorrow I have a video coming out on this knife, so look for it. But it's the Off-Grid Knives Rapid Fire Wharncliffe. I want to show these off because I want you to keep your eye out for the video for tomorrow. But these things, it's just an excuse to pull out some cool knives. Jason Velasquez, good to have you here, Jason. Carried the Sabenza 31 with ebony inlay. Oh, dude, I was just talking about how much I'm loving wood on, and that sounds beautiful. Loving wood on knife handles, that is. Blade HQ Pena Trapper and the Urban EDC tack. What is that tack? Not sure what that is. Nice carry, Jason. James Moore says, I can't do warnies, Bob. They're on my list. No warnies, no Tontos, no recurves, no plant or animal parts, and no thumb discs. Hey, that's cool. You know what I like about that? Those are all actually, I mean, all of the things that don't fall into that are acceptable to you are acceptable to me. And then all of those things are also acceptable to me. But what I like is this is a man who's got rules. I'm a man who has rules too. Our rules are different, but the point is we have a code and we live by it. Every once in a while, you'll hear me carrying two knives from the same maker or something. You know, we all sin. Sin does mean missing the mark, you know. So we all miss the mark from time to time. But yeah, so James, I hear you. It's just we'll agree to disagree, even though I'm right. Dave says, got a large fixed blade, the Razorback in Magna Cut, currently in heat treat with Dirk. Razorback. Oh, what is that? Oh, I think I do know. I think he showed that. Yes, he showed that a few weeks back, and I think it was up for grabs. Were you the one who grabbed? Oh man. I feel the jealousy. I feel that hot jealousy rising up. Push it down. Son of Liberty says, yep, I might swap the scales on one of the Yo 2s. I might just customize the Smooth G10 one. It comes, oh, that's right. It's the Smooth G10. I like that. That's a different thing. They did that with some paramilitary too. I'm not sure what the steel was. I guess it was Crewwear, and it must have been Knife Center. Miller 86 says, has anyone tried the Kaiser Feist before I buy one? Oh, not I. but people love that knife. Two people who have never who have never disappointed me with their assessments of knives. Not that our tastes are exactly the same by any stretch, but Jared Neve and Nick from Stasa 23 both love the Feist, as do Frankie and Bird, as did um, Nick Shabazz. A lot of people love the Feist, so I think Nick Shabazz loved it. Anyway, I would get it if I were you, and if you hate it, I'll buy it from you. Yes, you all heard that, and I documented it. So now I have to follow through. So so you have to follow through. You have to get it, and if you hate it, I'll buy it. Theo Lord, good to have you here, Theo. My nicest knife is the Mnandi with salted beechwood and ladder Damascus. That sounds gorgeous, man. That sounds beautiful. Mm. I do need more Damascus in my life, but I think I'm very picky. I think it's got to be really well. What I do know is it can't be the Pakistan Damascus. Yeah, I just don't like Damascus that smells or that you can feel. Um, I don't know. That's the thing. I truly don't know. All I know is that I like when custom makers make or use American Damascus. Jason Velasquez says Chavez calls the tack tiny ass knife. Oh, okay. Cool. The tack. Jason Velasquez. Thank you, sir. Miller 86, thumbs up. Oh, okay. I'll have to remember what that was for. Include the question in your answer. I can't remember. I'm an old man. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. It's a Gungan said, my only knife rules are no Chinese brands, and Chinese made knives are blowing up now. So I'm sure I'm missing out. That's interesting. So how are you on American brands making knives in China? Not to split hairs, but I'm just curious how you feel. Well, like this one right here. This is the one I did videos on for tomorrow. Check this out. These are the off-grid knives, rapid fire Warncliffs. Rapid fire originally comes. I don't have one, unfortunately. We gave one away here that Dave gave us, but the rapid fire originally comes with this style blade. So the original rapid fire here. Let's see if we can do this. Looks something like this here. Yeah, the rapid fire folder basically comes with this blade. Now it comes with the Warncliffe, and the Warncliffe reminds me a lot of their Black Stallion style Warncliffe. It's like a sheep's foot, but it's got that nice point. I mean, it's a pretty pointy sheep's foot, or they're calling it a Warncliffe. Very nice, robust knife. That's 154C. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's 14C28N. Very nicely done. Now this is this is called the rapid fire. It is a assisted open, and man, it comes out violently, forcefully. I won't say violently. It really comes out forcefully, making this the most enjoyable, hands down, the most enjoyable assisted knife out there, including the ZT assisted knives I have had or experienced. By far, I mean, like by a mile. Really great action on these. This is the one. This is my new car knife. For obvious reasons, it's this is the fire and rescue knife. You could still use that. That tip is good for. I mean, the shape of the back of the blade is good for getting under seatbelts and stuff. If you were using this in a fire and rescue environment, I would round off that tip. You still could stab someone trying to get under their seatbelt, I think. In a high adrenaline situation, anyway, it's a pretty pointy knife, and the edge is so thin. I mean, it cuts with no effort. So if you are going to get this knife and use it in a fire rescue situation, which I do recommend, but I would also recommend rounding off the tip just a little bit. Has a great glass breaker, very discreet. You can, if you're using this in reverse grip for whatever reason, you can use the shelf created by the loop over pocket clip and just veer away from that. But I like how small and discreet that is. And of course, you've got the orange G10. It is contoured this way and then has a series of elongated interlocking hexagons scooped out of it, which gives a great texture. So yeah, check out my video tomorrow. I go into depth on these. I really dig them. I'm keeping this one, giving this one away. So keep your eyes peeled for that. All right. So let's do this. Speaking of giveaway, let's give away this this month's Gentleman Junkie Knife giveaway knife. And what is that? That is Ye Olde Concept Bulldozer in natural tan canvas micarta. Awesome front flipping knife with a very nice and thin D2 blade, right? D2, yeah, D2 blade, nice and thin and slicey. It reminds me a bit of a kitchen knife. There's a little schmutz on it. It reminds me a little bit of a kitchen knife in its profile and in its that edge shape. You know, it's a nice rocking, cutting edge shape and nice neutral handle. This is a pretty sweet knife. It's got nice jimping up here. If you're back on the handle, it's good for indexing. If you're up on the blade, it's actually good for gription. Got a nice sharp edge, a good point, serviceable point. You can definitely thrust with that, stab with that if you needed to. I love the neutral handle on it. Deep carry pocket clip, awesome front flipping action. I did that with my left hand, and that was the super special top secret front flip with the finger. That's if you're sneaking up in the middle of the night to a sentry and you're pretending to be someone from the same side and you're hiding your knife, and then you flip it open at the last second and then, you know, gain access. All right, so we're giving this away. Let me show you what's in the package here. It is your usual concept package. I got something on there, sorry. But it comes in this nice soft touch box. Ooh, you open it up. It's got a case like so many other knives, but it's a different kind of case. It's a slip, very nice. That's the little baggie it came in. And I really like these little cases. They're great for travel. Of course, no one carries them day to day in that, but they're great for travel and for storage. And then also in here, there's a silicone package to keep things dry. And then also you have your cleaning cloth and I don't know if there's literature in there. I haven't opened it up. So that's what you get if you are the lucky Gentleman Junkie knife winner tonight. All right, let's see. Let's bring up that wheel. But before we do, let's talk about who these people are. Who are our Gentleman Junkies? And I want to say at this point, even if you're not a Gentleman Junkie, I thank you for coming and for listening to the show and for watching the show, this and the interview and everything else here. I appreciate it greatly. And to the other patrons that are traditional junkies and tactical junkies and former junkies, I appreciate you all and much love out to you. All right, this month's Gentleman Junkies are, and first I'm going to take a sip of coffee to whet the whistle. All right, we got 9198 David, Ben Belkin, Byron Kennedy, Caleb Townsend, Colin Maison-Pierre, Edwin Callow, Ezekiel Yates, Gordon Tillman, Grim Reaper, Hero Sticks, Jared Strasbaugh, Jesse Tellis, Jock, John Ladner, Kay Mason, Kevin Moore, Kevin Seastrom, Larry Elizondo, Martin Gamboa, Mr. Fileto, Mitch Ochoa, Mr. VC256, Nathaniel Conway, Never Enough Knives 007, On the Edge 72, Scott Nelson, Sean Curry, Timothy Becker, Tong Kim, and Zach Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the Gentleman Junkies this month, and most of them, well, all of them in previous months. So thank you, one and all. It is so greatly appreciated. It means a lot that you're willing to trade that for this. So thank you so much. I hope you all win. I hope each and every one of you win tonight. All right, Jim, let's bring up that Wheel of Destiny. And I did not mention that the bulldozer here is designed by Kim Ning and is 3.56 inches in blade length. black tie-dye coating. Okay, let's see. Let's spin. Let's just do it. Here it goes. Here it goes, ladies and gentlemen. It is spinning currently and settling in on K Mason. K Mason. K Mason, you have won, sir. You have won this month's Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway, and this bulldozer in D2 and canvas micarta is yours, sir. So I will be getting my filthy paws off of this and packaging it up and sending it out to you, sir. Congratulations. But above that, thank you so much for your support. It's so much appreciated. Thank you. Okay, so sweater weather knives. Hello, beautiful people, says Shane Gables. Shane, always a pleasure. Sorry I'm late. Went to see Clerks 3. I didn't know there was a Clerks 3. Is that brand new, or is that somewhat new? Kevin Moore says, good evening, y'all. Wonderful to be virtually surrounded by folks of like minds. Well, Kevin Moore, it is awesome to have you here, sir. You know, here's a knife I want to show that I didn't put in the schedule for tonight, but it's pretty cool, and it just arrived, and I'm gonna be making a video of it and testing it out this weekend. Son of Liberty 78 says, I try not to buy knives made in China. I do have an M4 Pena X swayback on layaway, though. That design, it just really appeals to me. You know, hey, I say do what you can where you can. And none of us, not one of us, can avoid buying things from China and still expect to live a healthy, well-adjusted lifestyle. Like, you know, we all kind of have to have cell phones this day and age. I resisted. I'm like, you know, what's wrong with Ravens? But everyone else had to have their freaking TikTok. So we have this culture. No thanks to me. But, you know, anyway, I'm going to show off this knife. Speaking of the modern age, this one is from Ukraine, and they reached out to me and asked if they could send me a knife, and I said, "Oh yeah," and they sent this to me, and it's pretty cool. It's BPS knives, and let me just show you. This leather sheath is amazing. It is a beautiful leather sheath, and if we had smell-o-vision, well, here. You can hear the leather, but if we had smell-o-vision, you would just smell how amazing this sheath really is. Okay, so the knife itself is quite cool. It's an outdoor. This was really tight, and now it's already loosened up a little bit. It is an incredible outdoor fixed blade with an amazing edge. It's got a Scandi ground edge, but that edge, it's Scandi ground, but it's also convexed. I think it's stropped over and polished over into a convex. It is so incredibly sharp, and it's got the charm of something that's not quite finished. It's very, very handmade, but precisely so. But it does show evidence of being handmade, and I love that. First of all, the finger grooves, I was worried they fit great. I mean, this is coming from Ukraine, and of course, I'm picturing big, giant Ukrainian men holding this. I used to live in a neighborhood that was sort of Ukraine adjacent, and there were some big dudes there. And I was like, it's going to be, the finger grooves aren't going to line up. They're perfect. It feels great. So ergonomic. So just a great camp outdoors knife. Well, we'll see if it's great. I'm going to take it out and feather stick with it, and I'll do a little bit of light batoning with it, and I'll do a little bit of carving with it, and kind of put it through the paces I do. Chop down a couple of little saplings, just see how it does. And then report back and make a video. I'm very grateful that they sent me this, and it would be really cool to be able to help support a company in Ukraine, which obviously is in dire straits. So hats off to them. Interestingly, unfinished handle. I mean, finished in terms of everything but a finish. It doesn't have a stain or anything on it. So after I shoot the video, I'm going to take off the handles and lightly sand them, and then I'll stain them and put them back on. And I think I'm going to choose, I have a sort of dark red stain I'll probably go with. But why do I have this lanyard? You ask. You didn't ask, and you probably didn't even notice it. But it was really tight, the sheath, and I needed it to pull this out. But It took only about 2 days, and there you go. Okay, so that's BPS knives out of Ukraine, making some really cool budget outdoor or budget friendly outdoors knives. I think that's D2 blade steel there. Aberdeen Blades, good to have you here. Aberdeen Blades, it's good to have you here. The new concept knives Nest Street looks intriguing. Looks similar to the Kaiser Towser K. That's another one I'm selling. Anyone interested in getting an unused Kaiser Towser K? Let me know. That doesn't mean I didn't carry it a few times, but and I think I ran it through some paper, but well, I know I did. But anyway, I do not know that one. I do not know that one, but it sounds cool. I like Kaiser an awful lot, especially their Vanguard stuff. Yes, indeed. So here's a couple that I am going to start carrying again now that I'm carrying stouter clothing. Here, this is a perfect sweater weather knife. This is the Max Ace. What is this thing called? Oh, the Sandstorm K. That's right. Look at this. Look at this big old baby. I love this thing. And I got it right at the onset of summer, so I haven't carried it much, but that is about to change. And I've gotten a update to my wardrobe recently, and something that is always important, something I always consider, are the pockets, for obvious reasons, not just the outer seams, but how deep the pockets go. And this is a bit of a pocket hog, as you might imagine, but I'm still willing to carry it, and still willing to carry it, love to carry it. I love also how this thing has a small mealy mouthed clip. It makes this a sleeper in the pocket. It looks like a little gas station knife, or almost like a or what do you call it, one of those $4 Walmart knives. But then you pull it out, and it's, first of all, it's a super high quality, but it's a beautiful giant knife, and love this thing. So yeah, this is going to be getting some play. Oh, something I didn't pull out is my inside jacket pocket knife for the winter, which is usually the Cold Steel Black Talon 2, because you pull that out, it's good to go. You're going through leather jackets or anything. Wilby says that Sandstorm looks massive and awesome. You are right on both accounts, massive and awesome. Speaking of which, this is another one I can carry. This, I have a couple of pairs of pants that this works well with. You know me, I love my Cold Steels. Bob, I have made 2 acquisitions, the Yo Jumbo, and the adult Adamas. I know, me too. I don't mean me too, but if I were to get an Adamas, why would you get the small one? That's the whole point. I'm sorry about that. I love Shane Sibbert design too. Very nice acquisitions. How do you like the Yo Jumbo? I love my Yo Jumbo. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking of getting the 5x5 pocket deployer for mine. I don't like the way it looks as much, but I'm trying not to be so very superficial. Here's another great one. Actually, this one you can carry even in the summer, even in lighter pants. But this is the 5.5-inch Cold Steel Frenzy knife based on a Japanese armor and helmet piercing knife. I think it reminds me of the Gununting. So, doesn't matter. But it just has a slightly hawk build and very pointy blade. But it's G10. By the way, that's XHP steel. It's G10, nice and thin, and it's got the triad. So this is a very easy knife to carry. Easy giant knife to carry. So if you're looking for one, I know they still sell this in one of its colors. I can't remember. I think it's green. I think the blue and the gray or the white, they just don't make anymore. But I think you can get this one still. I highly recommend it, especially if you're interested in big blades. But how am I going to carry that big damn thing? This is a great knife for that. Son of Liberty says, how's the Yo Jimbo? How's the Yo Jumbo? I meant. Okay. Thank you, Jim. How's the Yo Jumbo? It almost seems too large for the overall design. The Yo 2's dimensions seem almost perfect to me. Oh, Son of Liberty. Well, if the Yo Jimbo is perfect to you, um, that's because it's a perfect design. Uh, I mean, it could also be that is exactly your size wheelhouse, but the design is perfect. That is one of the few I consider smaller knives that I will carry without reservation in my front right pocket, where it's reserved for kind of 3.6 to 4 inches. So yeah, I think the Yo Jimbo is perfect. The Yo Jumbo is bigger, perfect. Not as perfect. And what I mean by that is mine took a little tweak to get to where I like it. It has a two-finger partition in partitioning your two fingers on the bottom part of the handle. I didn't like that, but the nested liner does not come all the way up into that peak of the G10, so I just sanded it down flat and no damage to the liners or anything else. It just was the removal of some G10 and it made that knife perfect. There's another peak down towards the back to sort of bookend your fingers. And you can do the same thing with that one if you so choose and have a totally straight handle on the bottom. And I've seen people do that. BJ Hill does that for Hilltop Gear. Looks really ergonomic and ergonomically friendly. But what I'm trying to say is you can alter it and make it perfect for you, most likely without damaging the liners or anything like that. Chris says, do not carry it much, but bought the Black Talon 2 after your unique knife video, and it's been my best yard knife yet. Yes. I've said that before. Like, it is the most terrifying knife you could possibly, most terrifying folding knife you could possibly imagine facing, but also great for gardening. You've got that hook, you've got serrations, or not, or if you don't have serrations, you just have an incredibly sharp super steel blade that is an S curve and has that thing, perfect for pruning roses, I would imagine, and other things. King Snake Jake, hello, Mr. DeMarco. Hi, guys. Hope all is well. Well, hello to you, sir, Mr. Jake, since you're being formal. I do appreciate that. Yeah. I'm one of those guys, one of those men / fathers who insists that the kids call me at the very least Mr. Bob. I do prefer Mr. DeMarco because that's what I had to call adults. There's none of this, hey Bob, how's it going, Bob? No, no. Shane says, Bob, mine's going to a belt sander soon. The hump doesn't line up for me. Yeah. I even did mine. Oh, I did mine with a Dremel. Yeah, belt sander. Are you going to get the second partition too and make it just kind of a straight handle? That looks fairly comfortable, but my hand does fit between the two extremes before removing that last thing. So I'm hesitant to do so because I feel like, what if I'm swinging it around and I hit some hard target and I'm going to need that little, and it's not happening. So I could do that and everything would be just fine. I'm going to get rid of these giant knives here and then talk about some more reasonably sized knives that still are kind of bulky and heavy, but that I love and just do not get any love from me in the summertime. I think actually a couple of the off-grid knives fit that role for sure. But here's one. Wait, where is it? Here. Sadly, I was not carrying this much this summer. The serrations on the Black Talon 2 go through weeds, small branches, tall grass like butter. That thing is, yeah, it's awesome. And like most serrated folding knife blades, it's a chisel edge. And chisel edges are always sharper. This one is coming back out. Not coming back out, but I tend to carry this more in stouter pants, jeans, Carhartts, that kind of thing. And so happy to be having this back out. Happy to be having this back out of the drawer and in my pocket again. It is heavy. It is thick. That this is the MG 8020, but it is such an addictive action. and such a great cutter. This is hilarious cutting apples, though. Wait, is it this one? Yeah, this thing it wedges through apples. I did carry this actually not that long ago to work, but I had stouter work pants on, and so this worked fine. Do love the 80/20 MG. So I like the look of that 80/22. I hope they come out with the 80/22 in a longer size blade, because I think that's only 3 1/4. And this is another one. This is a Dave gift. Manny Z, how's it going, Manny? I have the serrated black talon too. Serrations help with the plant material. Yeah, they sure do. They also help with rope and leather and other things. This is the Smatch It, the Boker Smatch It. This thing is so smooth. Also wood handle, full 4-inch blade, big knife, getting some more love at this point. Thanks for taking the time to explain how you feel about the Yo Jumbo and Yo Jimbo 2, says Son of Liberty. I tend to favor medium knives. I like the larger ones too, though. Got the M4 Shaman and a Dirac Delta on the way soon. Oh, both of those awesome. The M4 Shaman sounds really awesome too. It's funny because Son of Liberty, it's like there are a lot of knives that are thankfully out of my wheelhouse, meaning are just too small. I know I'm not going to carry them in a way that that merits the spending of the money on them. But it doesn't mean I don't still really like a lot of 3-inch knives, for instance. What was that one from Shane? Oh, getting dry. I've got the M4 Shaman as well, but I love all my Spydercos. How about this one? Oh, by the way, Shane just said he loves all of his Spydercos. I've inquired. I've reached out. I'm inquiring about the M2, or not the M2, the Military 2. I cannot wait for that to come out. I now at this point I've expressed my interest and keep kind of talking about it. Now I have to buy it. But it's the Military. Finally, after all of this time, I mean, it's been out for, I don't know, 25 years or something like that. It's finally getting its paramilitary, or its Military 2 designation, because they're giving it the compression lock. They are putting a liner in it that will allow you to carry the damn thing the way it should be, with the tip up, and several other changes. I don't remember what the other two are, but for me, tip up and compression lock just take the cake. I'm very excited for that. Are you going to get that one, Shane? It's a big one. I know you like big knives. This is another one that I got in the warmer months, and we'll now start seeing even more carry and excited chit chat. I love this thing. This is the I love this thing. What the hell is it? This is the SOCOM Bravo by Microtech, made by Reich Knives in China. Look at this thing. This is beautiful. Really beautifully done and designed. I love the multi-factor traction here. So the jimping goes in several directions here. Well, 2 directions. There are grooves this way and then grooves that way. So just cool as hell. And on the SOCOM Elite that I have, you have the same thing here, and I love this. It's the downside ramp jimped. So if you like to keep your thumb up on the back of the blade, you get almost you get this grip like you're almost pulling back. So you get a tension between here and here that gives you a surety of grip that I really like. And there are a few knives, the 0452 CF by designed by Sinkovich, made by ZT, has that same thing. So do you guys have any do you have sweater weather knives? Sweater weather is a term I've always used for like fall. It's like not fully bundled up, but you can't just go out in a t-shirt anymore. And I grew up in Ohio, so there's a lot of sweater weather. Will B says, I really, really want the Military 2. About time for them to do it, right? Yes. Oh, about time for them to do it right. Yes. A comma would have been right. and a question mark, but gotcha. Um, Here's another one. This is one that I've been thinking about recently because I've been in the dagger phase, dagger and Bowie phase. Those are two big phases to be in at once. But this is just so. This is the Arcane Design Abyss. Or no, I'm sorry. This is the Arcane Design Antimatter, right? Yes, antimatter, double edge, but it is a chunker. It is thick and chunky, but it's nothing in a pair of jeans. But in a pair of shorts, it's a boat anchor. And it was a hot summer, and I was wearing a lot of sort of high tech garbage shorts, if you know what I mean, like wicking and that thin material. And this thing, you just can't. Bangs around, swings around. People get the wrong idea. So yeah, I love this thing. Antimatter? Antimatter. I don't know why that's sounding wrong to me. You're like, because it is wrong, Bob. It's actually the Arcane. Yeah, antimatter. That's what it is. It's not the arch nemesis. That's the other dagger. Anyone have this knife? This thing is really killer. Really nice knife. But yeah, so that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Other things I'm talking about, I really wish Israel would do another run of those. Yes, I do too. But I think I guess maybe he doesn't have them available anymore. I know for a while he did. He had had a big order of them, and people weren't responding quickly because of the double-edged nature of them. But he also makes them single-edge for that very reason. Here's something new. This thing is amazing. From Lacey Zabo and Tops. I know I've shown this on the midweek supplemental, and I showed an unboxing and did a video on this thing, but I haven't shown it here. So I am in love with this knife. Now, I originally called it a dagger, thinking that it was just an asymmetrical dagger, like, with an asymmetrical handle and everything. But when I held it like this upside down and really looked at it, I could see, oh, this is a fighter. That's a fighter blade. Like, yeah, like this. So you see how it's asymmetrical. This bevel is smaller than this bevel, and it's almost looks like a clip point. It's rounded, but it's sort of like a clip point. Well, that's kind of what's happening here. And it is just absolutely wicked. It is thin for a Tops knife. Easier to conceal than most Tops knives, though it's a little bit too long for me to conceal. That's a 5.5-inch blade. That is also 1095 with the coating on it, made in the USA. Zabo Express. This thing is wicked cool. Beautifully made, beautifully ground. I like that it's not that traction coating. It's I don't know what kind of coating is, but it's a different slick sort of coating, and it's got a very nice micarta handle scales. I like the red liners. Look at that. So that's in saber grip, and then it's very nice in reverse grip. Something you don't want to do is that Filipino grip with your thumb up there, obviously, even with the other version. Great sheath as per usual from Tops. I shouldn't say that. They put a number of their really great knives in crappy sheaths, like the Prather War Bowie comes in that just the nylon, tactical nylon sheath, and a number of their knives do, and I just can't stand that. I can't stand those sheaths. They're no good. They're no good. So here's something I want to show you before I get to the thing I like. I'm going to go down to the Cold Steel Marauder. Since I had the OSS out here, love that Zabo, says Byron. Yeah, me too. It is a gorgeous knife, really nicely ground. Michael Versola, good to have you here, Michael. I've been carrying my Zabo Express a lot. Okay, so Michael, I almost carried mine out to dinner last Friday night, and I don't know. I wear it in the waistband. It was just a skosh too long, and I'm wondering how with the onset of winter and having, I'm wondering, is it going to be a sweater weather knife for me? Am I going to be able to comfortably wear it, knowing that I can have it a little bit more obvious because it's being covered up? But with just a t-shirt, it was printing like mad, and it was not comfortable because it's just a little bit too big for me. James Moore says, I had sweater weather growing up in Pennsylvania, but really don't get it much here in Southern California. So I have to guess. I'll call my Arius my sweater weather knife. That sounds like a solid, yeah. Southern California sounds beautiful. That was a wistful sigh for different climes. Okay, so I'm showing you this OSS because I had a bit of a disappointment actually today. I've been in the Bowie phase. Yes, you just said Dagger. Yeah, but also Bowie. And I got this on a lark. This is the Marauder by Cold Steel. And it has the same handle as the OSS. And I was hoping / expecting this knife to be much lighter. This is a very, to me, fighting oriented blade. And I know originally they were hollow ground, and that is how it should be. But this is for two reasons. A, slicey, sharp. If it's a fighting style Bowie knife, you don't have to worry about it being able to baton damn firewood. It is for cutting and fighting, and should be hollow ground. It is no longer hollow ground. It is so front heavy. It's weighted like a chopper. The handle is light because it's this Grivex stuff, or whatever Grivex. It's very light, and so the blade is very blade heavy. Feels more like a chopper, but this is not. This is a fighting setup here with the sub hilt and everything, and I guess looking at some people's videos like like Scab from Choir Boys, he was using this and was loving chopping with it, and I know that's how he uses his knives, but to me, this is something I would want just to have as like a fighting Bowie knife. So I'm going to be returning this, but there's another reason, and I'll show you that. But look at that, look at the edge. Let's see, the triangle of the tip. It's kind of an oblique edge. I'm kind of surprised, actually. It's thick behind the edge, and it doesn't. It should be higher up. I don't know. I am disappointed with the Marauder, and I'm going to be sending it back. And here's another thing. If you look at the handle, now this is an Amazon thing. This, I believe, was a returned item. That's from the Snap. Either that or it was sitting in the box upside down because for a long time, and the Snap just wore that in there because this came with, and here's the sheath. And you look at the sheath, the button was all banged up. And you know what? If I'm buying something at quote unquote full price, I don't want it to show up used. I want to know if I'm buying something used. And the box came like this. And here's the seal, which was opened with a fucking key. Excuse my French, but I mean, like, you're buying a knife, you're going to open up. You can see how it was sawed open with a key. And this is how the box came to me. It's like, here, take your knife, asshole. Take your knife and, go have, I don't know. It was just so thrown in a bag. It was thrown in a bag. Of course it's going to be all squashed. So anyway, I'm sending it back to them. Please excuse the French if we're in mixed company. But it was just a disappointment. So I've learned my lesson, and I shouldn't be buying too much stuff from Amazon anyway. So I'm going to go to, I think I will send this back, and for a few dollars more, I will get the Frontier Bowie, which is supposed to be heavy and big. And this Marauder was supposed to be, I was really expecting this to be light and facile, like the OSS. The OSS is a nimble, light, awesome knife. And you say, well, the blade is so much thinner, Bob. Of course. But if you thin this damn thing out, I mean, this thing is so, You could even put thinner blade stock, but if you just did the hollow grind like you originally did, this knife would fulfill its purpose. This is not an outdoors knife, but that's how they have treated it. So bummed about that. But you know, that's what I had to do with the Taipan. I got a bummer Taipan. The first one through was totally it was defective. It was ground horribly, and so I had to send it back, and then I got a perfect one. So luck of the draw with Amazon, I guess. Son of Liberty said, I'd return that, Bob. That's some BS. It is for sure some BS on a couple of levels. So and not not the least of which I'm kind of disappointed in Cold Steel for taking that design and betraying the spirit of that design. The spirit of that design from the handle all the way down that long clip blade, originally with the hollow grind. It's a fighting knife, and now it has the balance of a a kukri, which is also a fighting knife, but it's a chopper. It's a different kind of fighting. Good to hear. I never buy knives from Amazon. Can't trust them for things like that. Yeah. It was an impulse thing. As a matter of fact, it was one of those late night, like half asleep. I need to buy this for work. And so I'll throw this other thing in there that I want. That's how I got this recently. So I need to stop doing that. Plus, it's wasteful, and it's wasteful. Blade Ogre said, my sweater knife may be the Bark River JX6 in Magna Cut when it shows up next week. That's sweet. The JX6, that's that big Bowie by Chris Tanner of Prepared Mind 101. John P., good to have you here, John P. I ordered a knife from Amazon and the box was empty. Someone took the knife out and returned the empty box. That's some people, that a lot of people, just people. No, I shouldn't put it that way. I should not say that. People are under pressure. People are under a tremendous amount of pressure. I'm not excusing any sort of crappy behavior like that. But yeah, things are weird. Things are just awful and weird right now. And so people are doing awful and weird things at greater and greater rates. So keep your eyes peeled, guys and gals. Keep your eyes peeled. My wife is, training for a marathon. She's doing an awful lot of running, and she's running with she's got a karambit that she runs with and all that. But I'm just like, man, I don't know. Makes me nervous. Anyway, Jim, can you put that last comment? I think it was Shane. Yeah. So run with your cave bear. Run with your Zabo Express. Amazon Cold Steels are interesting. I did not know that. Are notorious for clones. That makes sense. Though this Cold Steel and the Cold Steel and the last one I got for sure, the Taipan, were from Cold Steel, just selling through Amazon. But that is troublesome. Check this out. This is the Kudaman. Did I show this off last week? I don't think I did, but again, I know I showed it off in the supplemental and did an unboxing video. Son of Liberty says, I bought a Kershaw Launch 12 from Amazon before I knew better and received one that someone had apparently tried to sharpen with a belt grinder. Yeah. Oh, God, man. Yeah. So I'm sending this thing back, and they're going to send it to someone else. And that someone else may or may not accept it, but it's a bummer. It's a bummer too, because then what do you do with it? Throw it away? No, it's a perfectly good, poorly designed or poorly executed and packaged knife. What do you do with it? I don't know. All right, so this is the Kudaman Bowie. I love this thing with the red stitches and really awesome. Sorry for the Joe Biden in your ear, people. With the really awesome stout sheath and beautiful micarta handles and red liners. A Spanish-made knife, the Kudaman knife. Kudaman, I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm really eyeing them up, and I'm looking at other Spanish knives, the Ators, what are the other ones? Joker knives, And so these are really well made, man. I forgot all about Spanish knives. Toledo, that's their city, that's their knife city, and it's a knife and sword town for centuries, and they're known for their steel and for their knives and their knife making. And I saw um, Legion Tactical. Uh, I can't Grug. I can never remember his name. I'm kind of new to his channel, but he got this and did some tests of it, and his enthusiasm totally got me hooked on this knife, and I got it, and I absolutely love it, and it makes me want to try out. Oh, Muela is another Spanish brand I remember from my childhood, seeing Muelas in catalogs and being like, man, those things are nice. And now that I'm a big boy, I can afford it and buy it without asking my parents. I should get one. I should get a Muela. But look at that thing. Isn't that beautiful uh, with its hollow ground? I don't need many knives to have a full flat grind. It's like I don't need my Bowies to be full flat ground to baton wood, because I have this. And by the way, I got the sap off of this thing finally. I have this, and this is a great baton. This is the 5/16 of an inch cold steel Trailmaster, and this thing just goes through wood like crazy. Also, a great fighter. This knife would be a great fighter. It moves great in hand. It's got a 0 ground swedge for back cuts and gouges. And a lot of people, you'll see this in that scene in Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, where Sundance Kid, I guess, Sundance or Butch, I don't know. The one played by by Paul Newman. He's challenged to a knife fight, and he kicks the guy in the crotch and wins the knife fight that way. But the guy's ready to fight him, and he's got the swedge side down. And I remember when I first saw that, I was like, you got your knife backwards. But a lot of people fought and fight with Bowies with the swedge first because of that. And you try this on a piece of paper. Take your sharpest Bowie knife and take a piece of paper. This is a paper towel. I don't know if it's going to work on a paper towel, but if you do this with the sharp curved part of the blade, it's probably just going to push the paper away. But you do it with the clip every time. Look, see, I just barely did that. You do it with the clip side, and you're just going to create nasty damage, even if it's an unsharpened swedge. I've done this a million times against paper with Bowies. Even my Shining Mountain Bowie, which has a thick clip, if it comes to a point and it's got a clip, it's going to do nasty damage. And then you can turn it around. You can incapacitate or disarm by hitting the arm in the hand with the swedge, bang, and then turn the knife around and then, use the cutting edge. But defanging the snake, disarming your opponent first using that clip, sometimes called the Randall fighting method. I know people use their Randall number ones like this a lot in combat. Interesting. Shane says, my OCD won't let me like a blade that's wider in the middle. Wider in the middle. Okay. Do you mean like that? Something that's wider towards the tip than it is at the ricasso? Is that what you mean? If so, that's an interesting ailment, or because like this has that. Do you mean like this, where it starts thin here and swells out and then gets thinner again? Is that what you mean, Shane? That's an interesting one. I mean, everyone's got their hangups. That's an interesting one. This knife would be pretty wicked in that fighting method, and yet it still has an unsharpened swedge, not even a 0 ground swedge, but you could still, with that tip, just and the weight of the Bowie too. Chris says, does the sheath have a magnet in it? No. I think I saw an old video with one of those with the JX6. No, it has a strap. I have the straps around the back. Are you talking about this one? Excuse me. I have the snaps just strapped around because I've been pulling it in and out a lot, and I don't need to unsnap it each time, and I definitely don't want to cut those. So I just have them wrapped through the thing. Jeremy Nedro, good to see you, sir. Beautiful. That's a beautiful Bowie knife. It is. There's only one thing I would change, and I will change as soon as I get around to it. This is very low on my to-do list, but the edge here around this guard, with this guard, which is very nice, is a, an exact 90 degrees, and it's just sharp on the underside. So I'll just run a piece of sandpaper lightly around there to eliminate that that slightly uncomfortable thing. Got the Muela bison at a little store in Texas. Nice little fixie. Okay, so Chris, there's a little Muela on I think it's a 4-inch blade on um, eBay that I've been kind of looking at, and I'm like, I should just get that, and it's cheap. I should just get it. I don't think it has a sheath, but big deal. Mr. VC, I'm looking forward to carrying my Shiro 111 and the Norseman in the colder times of the year. Oh yeah, the Shiro 111. That's a bigger knife too. Yeah, those are two very classy sweater weather knives. Blade Ogre says, never had a magnet in the sheath yet. So my start that again. Never had a magnet in a sheath yet. So might switch mine too. Oh, okay. I think I'm starting to follow. Yes, most Bowies, says Shane. Oh, okay. You know what doesn't do that is the Laredo Bowie. That has a cable tang, and that used to hang me up, but so many people have bashed their Laredos and not had an issue with the cable tang that I'm not so concerned anymore. But that one has two straight edges, or you could go with the Bill Bagwell if you could find it. I'd love to. If you could find it, let me know and I'll buy it. But the Battle Mist. No, that's Busty. The Bill Bagwell Bowies that were made by Ontario, they had tapering Bowies. They had long clips and everything, but even from the base to the tip, it was an overall. It was a taper. Same thing with the Natchez Bowie from Cold Steel. So there are options, Shane. I'm looking out for you. I'll be your Bowie knife consultant. How's that sound? I'll help you find a Bowie that has parallel lines or a taper towards the tip. Blade Ogre says, yeah, I do have a little muck. Okay, see what you mean now. Oh, okay. The little muck has the magnet in the sheath. That is done on Bark River knives and other knives, I'm sure, so that you can have a neck knife with an upside down blade in it without having kydex, and you can still have your leather sheath. It's just in there with a magnet. To me, I don't have anything like that. I believe Hero or Tier 1 loaned me. I think it was Tier 1 loaned me a Bird Trout from them Bark River knives that had that magnet, and it was pretty good, but you could shake it out if you whipped it. Then again, we're not paratrooping with our Bird Trout knives, so I'm sure it's fine. Incognito, good to see you, Incognito Griffin. My most expensive Bowie is the Condor Bowie. I support the company because my family is from El Salvador. That's great, and they're great knives too. Which Condor Bowie? There are a lot of them, and they're all cool. And actually, I have my eye on the Undertaker Bowie. Is that the one that you have? That thing looks awesome. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Kevin Moore, I love my Smatchet. Great knife. It is a great knife. And how cool would it be to have a real Smatchet on the wall too, or I should say an historical Smatchet, because this is a real Smatchet too. It's just a Boker Smatchet designed by Chuck Gudritis. Man, that dude, he's one of those mad geniuses. Well, he's not mad. He's a sane genius. That just doesn't sound as good though. I really like his designs, but I like it when he goes really nuts, and then I like it when he does stuff like this too. Incognito says the Undertaker, the blue handle. The Undertaker Bowie is the one that has the coffin handle with the 8 rivets. Or did you color the handle? Not color. Did you make the handle blue? Jeremy Nedro says, I love the. Oh, I know which one you're talking about. And it's a Joe Flowers design, I believe. It's got the curvy ergonomic handle, not the coffin, right? Jeremy Nedro says, I love the Undertaker Bowie. It's a beast. I've beat the hell out of mine. Jeremy, have you had that issue with the super tight sheath, or is it a non-issue that people are making an issue about? Let me know. Jeremy Nedro, when he answers, I'm going to remember that it's about the Condor sheath. Okay. Got to do that sometimes. Michael Morgan says, just got the Condor Norse Dragon Sax. That's an awesome knife. Michael, it's going to sound funny, but that is my sock drawer knife, and it's right there near the door to the bedroom. I love that thing, and I got it razor sharp. Mine didn't come stupendously sharp, but I got it stupendously sharp. And what a great... people need to be making more fixed blade saxes. It shouldn't be something that you have to go to Condor for. It shouldn't be something that you have to get custom. They should be, just like all these companies make Bowies, they should be making saxes, because there's actually not too much of a difference. There, I said it. Jeremy Nedra says the sheath is very tight. Okay, so Jeremy, I heard someone, I was kind of poking around. I heard someone took their Undertaker Bowie sheath and got it wet, soaked it, and then took wooden shims, and pushed, kind of hammered them into the opening, and then let it dry. And that opened it up for him and made it easier, because I think what it is that there's quite a belly on that Undertaker sheath, and they didn't account for the throat. I mean, that Undertaker Bowie, and they didn't account for the Shane Gables effect, that knife widens out towards the tip. So they basically made the sheath to the contour of the blade, and if you're trying to pass that wide area through a more slender area, which is made to fit the ricasso, it's going to be tight as hell. So that's what I heard the deal is. But I also heard that it can be remedied through that water and shim process. Maybe you don't want to go through all that malarkey, but if you're someone who wears a knife like that on your hip, it's probably worth doing, because if you want to draw that knife, it might be important to have it not pop out. Real quick, speaking of Bowie knives, I want to show off the new I want to talk about the new Best Tech budget line called Best Tech Man, which is kicked off by Ostap Hell's new design, the Dundee. And so that's my segue from Bowie knives, because we all know Crocodile Dundee carried a big, awesome Bowie knife, and you can get something exactly like a replica from Down Under Knives, which I am thirsting for. It's a $200 knife, though, so I've been a little hesitant of, spotty origin. Blade Ogre says, speaking of Bowies, have you seen the upcoming Puzon Wilderness Bowie from Work Tough Gear at DLT? They make some awesome fixies. Yes, I have. That thing is gorgeous. I happen to think that Work Tough Gear makes some really cool looking knives. I need to learn more about them. So this is the new design by Ostap Hell. We've had him on the show. Great dude from Poland, making great designs. He does some premium designs with Best Tech, but this one is the first in their budget line. So you get D2 blade steel, and that's micarta. So, I mean, G10 or micarta, black or white G10, and this tan micarta for a song by comparison to the premium versions of the Best Tech manufactured knives. Love me some Best Tech. This, if you look at it, has a very subtle clip starting from right above the logo on the blade. It's a long, subtle clip, kind of like you'll see on a Sebenza or something like that. Beautiful the way it tapers the fuller. I love the way the fuller tapers into non-existence 3/4 of the way down the blade. That fuller does not appear to be one that you can use to open the knife with, unfortunately. It does look like it is a little too buried in the handle. This is a knife in which, kind of like the Quaken, the handle accommodates almost all of the blade. In this case, I think you will not be able to bury your finger in there to open it up. Best Tech Man, interesting name for their new budget line, but interested to see where they go. D2, glad to see that it's not anything lesser. That's a 3.35-inch knife, and Dundee. Okay, I get it, but it doesn't even look too much like a Bowie knife. So, I would call Dirk Pinkerton's Street Bowie, that little 2.5-inch knife, it looks more like a Dundee than this does. But, well, that's just a stupid, silly nitpick and not a deal breaker. Nice looking knife. for sure. And I love O-Stop Help. By the way, looking at this, does that not appear to be a 1-to-1 blade to handle ratio? It looks like a very, very good blade to handle ratio there, or good to my liking anyway. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That's up and coming. Another one that is up and coming is the Benchmade Artist series. They're resuming that after a 2-year hiatus. That's where they take a famous, or someone famous for making art that is hunt related or outdoor nature related, and having doing a collaboration with them on a special knife. And in the past, it's been the Crooked River Small, and again, it is the Crooked River Small, or the Small Crooked River. And they have, I'm sorry, I've forgotten the name of the artist already. This gentleman, presumably, of course. Oh, Casey Underwood. And they're going to be doing this where they have originally they had 4 different fish on the on this knife, which to me, fine. But the Crooked River, even though it's got an aquatic name, never struck me as a sort of fish knife. Maybe a hunting knife, definitely an outdoors and camping knife, but never really struck me as a fish knife. So I like that they have now a bull elk and a stag and a mountain lion and a buffalo or something. What are the other? Let's see. A pheasant, a mallard, a bull elk, and a whitetail. So all cool. This time they're mixing up the avian and the mammalian species. They look pretty nice. Not exactly my bag, but I like that they've embellished it with engraving and such on the bolsters. It's like they do a little something special. They put the fake wood that I'm not crazy about. It's not this fake wood, but it's layered particle wood with different colors. I'm not crazy about that so much, but the way they're doing the art on the blade looks really nice. Even though it's not my bag, it looks like they're doing it very well. And I love what they're doing with the bolsters. So regardless of whether I like it or not, which is neither here nor there, it's another way to get a customized Benchmade from, especially of this particular model, the Crooked River Small. And they also have their custom shop where you can do that with most of their knives. So I think that's a cool thing. You don't hear me talk that warmly about Benchmade too often. They're fine. They're cool. They're good. They just don't get my heart racing. And that's what a lot of this is. Jeremy Nedra says, I'm going to buy the Puzon Bowie. It looks great. I cannot disagree with you, sir. I like that Puzon Bowie. Incognito Griffin says, actually, I bought a 21 Gerber machete and turned it into a 15-inch sax and sharpened the slope angle like a back cut. Dude, that sounds cool, man. That sounds really cool. Which is the Gerber 21 machete? Does it look like a normal machete? Happy Haptics EDC. Good to see you here. Yo, what looks good, Bobby boy? Coming in late. Oh, this is what looks good, man. I am so into Bowies lately. So into Bowies that I made a mistake, and I bought a knife from Amazon, and I think I'm done doing that. But I got something that was very disappointing, and that's this Marauder. It's just front heavy. It's a fighting design, but it's treated like a chopper, and it just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to send this back. I'm going to get my money back, and I'll spend that on something else from Amazon that we need, something for the house. I don't know, but I will go over to Chicago Knife Works, one of my favorite new to me sites. They have great deals on some fixed blade knives, and I'm sure plenty of folders too. But I've been going over there because that's where I got the Kudeman Bowie, and that's where I got the Express Zabo Express tops. Ketmuk says, for a sax, I really want a Tops Storm Vector. Yeah, I mean that is a short sword. That Storm Vector is pretty nasty looking. Hollywood Tactical just got off work. Well, Hollywood Tactical, I'm just about to wrap up, but man, good to have you here. I featured your comment a couple of weeks back at the beginning of the midweek supplemental, Hollywood Tactical, and I think you had a dissenting opinion about something, and I liked it. Not that I agreed with it, but I like that you presented it. At Ket McNeshart, I almost bought the Storm Vector at Blade Show, but got the Skull Crush. Oh, yeah. XSB. He's shown that off here instead. That is a cool one. Shane says, Bob, the adult Crooked River isn't exciting, but it's excellent. Usually smooth for Benchmade. I had one, and I had it in I had it in the wood with the orange, and I liked it. I know a lot of people dished on the orange. I like the whole hunter theme. I got rid of it, and that is also a regret, because if I had that knife now, I would send that I would send that to BGM for a regrind. That one is begging to be hollow ground, but I loved that knife. I just got rid of it for a momentary impulse, which hopefully resulted in one of these awesome knives I still have. Christoph Wilhelm, if I haven't greeted you, which I don't think I have, hello, sir. Good to have you. Was about 14 minutes late, was watching on Fire TV, went to PC in the other room. Got to say, I appreciate the French tonight, Bob. Oh, the French. Maison Pierre, when I was talking about Colin. I like to pretend to know how to pronounce French. Like, for instance, instead of, hey, I like your hat, man, you say, oh, I dig the chapeau. And people will think you're incredibly sophisticated. Jeremy said, hey, everyone, have a great night. 4 a.m. comes early. Thanks for a great show. Jeremy, 5 a.m. comes early for me too, sir. So I hear you're screaming. You have a good night and sleep well. And have an awesome weekend. That's right. Have an awesome weekend. Anything else I want to show before I start wrapping? I have so many cool things out here. I will, since I'm in a Bowie tear. I'll show the V44. By the way, V is a lot of people in my family named Vic, and 44 has always been my favorite number. So here you go. The V44 is a special knife, so I had to have it. Actually, it is a special knife because my dad bought it for me, and I'm so stoked. I wanted it, and he heard me say on the show that I wanted it, and he bought it for me for my birthday a couple of years ago. I think it was my 48th birthday. But anyway, love this Bowie knife. This one has the Moran style handle, so it's contoured, sort of a horse hoof shape handle, but wouldn't stop you from fighting like this if you needed to. Byron Kennedy says, guys and dolls, headed out. Thanks, Bob, Jim, for the live stream. Everyone have a great weekend. Byron Kennedy, take care, man. Guys and Dolls, one of the few great musicals out there. And Byron, you're a gentleman and a scholar, sir. Thank you so much for your support and for your comments on the videos. It's greatly appreciated. Shane Gables says, holy shit, Bob, I didn't consider a regrind. You just cost me $60. Oh, yeah. And let me know how it is, Shane. Get it nice and thin and hollow ground. Christoph says, the faulty Amazon order French. Oh, thank you. Oh, that French. I got you. I was at work once and I swore, and I was like, oh, excuse the French. And my coworker was like, I speak French. I was like, oh, awesome. I have a boss who definitely patrolled the language in the office, and frankly, have a wife who patrolled the language, thankfully, around the girls in the house. So, that's good. I've learned to control it somewhat. JN, what up, Bob, Jim, y'all? Sorry I'm late. Well, JN, this is me pretty much signing off, sir. But I was thinking of you again today, and that drawing, and how I have never been able to see what it is. That V44 Bowie looks like a convex grind. It does indeed, sir. Oh, it's a Bark River, so that just by default, but it's cool that you can see it. Beautiful. And as I wrap, I'm going to show you this again, because this is such a great grind on this BPS knives from Ukraine. Check them out, and check out my forthcoming video of this. Very interesting, inexpensive, beautifully ground, incredibly wickedly sharp. I think this is a Scandi / Appleseed grind. Just beautiful. I look forward to testing it and seeing how it works, but I have no doubt it's going to do great. So yeah, that one I think is convex as well as Scandied. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the Knife on Thursday Night Knives. I could say the Knife Junkie podcast, but that is coming up. That's episode 352. Matt Markin of TriStar Knives. He's a newish knife maker. TriStar. He's making some gorgeous fixed blade EDC knives, and he also incidentally happens to be a really nice guy, and we had a great conversation. Very interesting dude. That's this Sunday. And then check us out on Wednesday for the midweek supplemental, where I come up with a lot of things to talk about knives for an hour, and you get to enjoy the dulcet tones. JN says, "Not about you thinking of me, LOL." About wrapping up. Oh, gotcha. Another great live stream, Bob. Always a great way to spend Thursday night. Jay, Wilby, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming, and thank you for the comments and talking to me. Thanks for letting me wax knifey. I do appreciate it. Just got the Yojimbo Crewwear, says Jose Abdul Favela. Good to have you here, Jose. With the smooth G10 handles, better than regular G10. Put the G10 on the black Yojimbo version and added titanium scales to the new Crewwear. I like your strategy, Jose. That all sounds beautiful, man. Christoph, just wanted to add, received my tie-jigged Ohio River Jack sheepsfoot today. Completely exceeded expectations. I need to get my hands on one of those Ohio River Jacks. JN, hit the like button. Thank you, JN. I appreciate it. Hit the like button, everybody. I mean, I've been waving around this cool Bowie for a few minutes. That deserves a like. Hag90, happy Thursday night. I have arrived. Hi, the Knife Junkie. I have arrived. Hag90, it's been a pleasure. I hope you enjoy the show on replay. And man, I greatly appreciate you all. So thanks a lot. And if you want to become a patron and be a part of next month's Knife Junkie giveaway, also congratulations to Kate Mason. You can do it right here. knifejunkie.com/Patreon. All right, for Jim working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco, waving around to Bowie and begging you, don't take dull for an answer.